So we'll call it to order at 9. I'm gonna wait for you to get all set up and everything, just that way I can start handing stuff out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
These are just the last minutes. And in printing those, I realized that I did not run the January ones, so I'll do that today and hopefully send those out afterwards. Here's the Cambridge Trust.
Thank you. Is this?
I didn't make copies of it.
Okay,
I
perfect.
can email you that afterwards as well if you like.
Excellent.
I had blocked off 4 to 5 yesterday to prepare all this, and then had a meeting scheduled for me from 4 to 5. So it unfortunately did not get done. I'll be sure to get a few for the next meeting now.
Thank you.
So Linda, I'll give you a 5,000 feet overview.
Great.
I'm not sure if Jim did or not, but
No.
you guys are responsible for the trusts, capital reserves. The biggest pot of money you have is the cemetery trust funds. And that's for the for the care of the trust of the cemeteries for the future, in perpetuity. That's what I was looking for.
Okay.
That's the largest sum of money that you have. Then there are various other trusts that go along with it. The Jacob Nair Scholarship, for example, which we'll actually be having a release of today, or a request. Then on the town and school side, it is the capital reserve funds that you'll see the warrant articles for and everything of that nature. And expendable maintenance, as well as the roadway maintenance trust fund.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Expendable maintenance trust fund, as well as the roadway maintenance trust fund. So, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the main goal, some of the main goals is to try and get as much income from the funds that are available
Okay.
with the lowest risk amount. And then whenever there is a withdrawal, to make sure that it meets the intent of what the fund was set up to do.
Okay.
So I think the example I typically give is if I come before you with a council order that's approved, that I've said, yep, we're good for, and it's for police guns, but I'm requesting it out of fire department equipment, no.
Probably not.
Because it doesn't meet the intent.
Okay.
As I've explained to John, Brian, typically when, at least I can speak from the ones I bring, they've been vetted by the department head, by myself, by the town manager, and then by the town council. So hopefully nothing ever gets to you in that state.
Okay.
But it's essentially one of the things that you'll be looking for.
Okay.
Next we can do, I have a bunch of requests for you guys. This one is for the school district, the buildings and grounds. They are requesting $415,700.37. And there's a brief overview in there for you. I have the draft meeting minutes if you want them as well to show that the school board has approved it. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm realizing I didn't put up the TD statement for you guys. I apologize.
What he's looking at is kind of the real meat of it, just
Yeah.
as Justin said, just making sure that the requests that have come from the council and the school board are meeting the intent of the trust that they're asking for the money from.
Okay.
So Justin designed a nice cover sheet for us, so we'll review the request that's there, we'll look at the supporting documents, and then if we're in agreement that everything's in order, we sign off. That way he's got a record that we all approved it.
Oh, okay.
This next one?
This is the school board's meeting minutes, if you want to review that. The next one is for $151,850.96 for the school district information technology infrastructure capital reserve.
Again, does this go
You
along
can
with
pass
this
it,
one?
yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Oh, since Jonathan's looking at that one.
Okay.
Similar to some expenditures with the town, this is money they've already spent, they're just looking at withdrawing that back from the capital reserve fund.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can't speak to the school side, but the town side, what we'll do, unless it's an emergency situation, we'll get authorization from the town council. We'll then continue with the expense, but we won't charge it to the capital reserve expendable maintenance, wherever it is, or take it out. We'll charge it to a separate account. And should you guys, for whatever reason, say no, we'll then charge it to their operating budget. But once we get authorization from you guys, we'll then withdraw the money from the capital reserve and charge it to the trust, the capital reserve expense line.
Okay.
And I'm saying capital reserve because that's just the easiest one to say instead of going through all of them in a row.
Understood.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Yeah, this is the TD statement, this is our reconciliation for April.
Perfect. So, I'm realizing I didn't give you guys the TD one. There's a copy of the TD one for you to review. That's where all our capital reserves, reclamation, all that fun stuff is.
You know, I come prepared with the computer, but not a pen. Can I possibly have a pen for Richard?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Very kind, so sorry.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome.
The next school district one, and not the last, but the next one is for the school district equipment for $123,857.24.
Has this already been spent?
The school has already spent theirs, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, the point of us is?
So if it's, I'm gonna speak on the town's behalf, because I don't like speaking for the school. So I'm gonna request $30,463 out of the cable department reserve. We've already spent the money. If you guys determine, so we spend it after we get the town council authorization.
Right.
If you guys determine that it does not meet the intent of the reserve, we would then charge it to our operating budget instead of the reserve.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Where it comes, not more into play, but where it's really important is more the scholarships, the cemetery trust fund, the trust of that, because people will leave money, and I'm just trying to think of an example right now. So we have the Mary Lou Chamberlain Scholarship that is to go to a graduating Londonderry senior every year. So the trust, when it was scholarship, when it was set up, was for exactly that. Any interest that's spent, or any interest that's accumulated can be spent. If I were to come to you with a Astro graduate who lives in Londonderry,
Oh, okay. Wouldn't
then it
fall
becomes, exactly.
criteria. Okay, gotcha.
We actually had that a year, 2 years ago, but it wasn't that. It was a resident outside of Londonderry that graduated from Londonderry. And because they graduated from Londonderry, qualified.
Oh, okay. How do you know what the criterion of the various trusts are?
Through the warrant article, through the establishment papers, and in full transparency, there are several that we don't know because they were established in 1920s, and we've been doing research to try to find some of those out.
Okay. Pass it down.
That with you also.
Thank you.
This next one is a request for $13,332 from the Jacob Narr Scholarship. This is for, sorry, wish I just had it in here. 6 individuals. And this one is, each one is $2,222. And this one actually is a good example, Linda, of a unique situation where a majority of the trust funds we receive, not the capital reserves, but the trust funds, you can only spend the principal or income that is earned. Or sorry, no, you can only spend the income that's earned or interest, you cannot spend the
Yeah,
principal.
okay.
This one actually allows for you to draw into the principal balance if requested. It's one of the few that does allow that.
Is this part of?
So all this is the capital reserve funds we have in TD Bank.
Oh, okay.
So this is the bank statement for them.
Oh, okay. Is that your main bank?
We're transitioning to them, yes. We recently, so for the capital reserves, yes, that is. For the trust funds, we use Cambridge Trust, because the trust funds are able to be invested in securities and blue chip stocks, things like that, where the capital reserves, the principal balance has to be secure. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
The trust funds, like the NAR scholarship, for example, those can go into stocks where it can go up and down, and you can get bigger gains or bigger losses.
Okay. So there's nothing,
No, that's just FYI for you.
Gotcha.
A couple of years ago, we switched over, and the interest earnings has been significant in
Oh, yeah.
comparison.
Good 3 altogether from the school? Looking at it right?
I think 4,
4.
including the scholarship.
Including the scholarship, yep.
Yep.
Question.
Yeah, go right ahead.
On this one, I see myself, Jonathan, signed off, and
Yep.
Linda can review here in just a moment. Do we need to circle that, or can you circle that?
I can circle that if
Oh,
you guys are
perfect.
okay with that.
Okay, good. That was just a,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to circle it, but
okay.
once you get two, you're more than welcome to circle it.
Okay.
If not, because they're there, I have no problem circling that.
This-
Yep, that's the next
Oh,
one.
the next one.
Yep.
Why are we're doing this separate? Because it wasn't in their budget and now they want to take this out of the trust fund, is that?
So, which one, is this the
Or
scholarship?
any of them, you
So
know.
aside, take the scholarship
The
aside,
school.
that's completely different than everything else. So what it is what the school and the town will do is they will request at the warrant or the ballot voting March election to add funds to these reserve funds.
That wasn't budgeted already.
That's not part of the operating budget.
Oh.
So it's typically for larger projects or things of that nature. That way you're not either requesting a giant bump in the operating budget for 1 year, or you're not providing other services because you have to deal with that expense.
Okay.
Usually there is the school district, there's a game plan for what's gonna be spent in the next year when they're requesting it. Same with the town. Some of the town's funds acts more as a reserve for when things go wrong, the expendable maintenance, for
Mhm.
example.
Unexpected.
Exactly. That way
One
you're
thing
not
or
eating the budget, you're able to
Right.
use that funding without having to go to the state or anything else.
Oh, okay. So it's not kind of like emergency kind of thing,
It's that or planned projects.
planned project?
Yeah.
That you don't wanna put in your budget to make it go way up when
And then all of
you're-
a sudden go
yeah.
down and now you're dealing with or it allows you to essentially plan ahead. It's a savings account, I guess is the best way to put it, where we know, thank you very much, using the roadway maintenance, for example, that's one that you'll see every year for about $650,000. DPW will have a road or a project that they're going to repair and fix, so they'll save that up because that's allowed to carry over from year to year where the operating budget isn't. They will save it up and use it for that project, whether it's, $2-3 million, which adding that randomly in the budget is going to spike.
Yeah,
So it allows it to piecemeal to get to the big purchase, I guess is the best way to put it, is you're adding smaller pieces.
Incrementally.
Exactly. So
Okay.
limits a giant tax impact and kind of keeps it more stable because it's coming and you know what it is.
so they plan this when they're, okay. As much as you can.
Exactly. The expendable maintenance is one where it's some planned projects as well as, for example, we have 2 HVACs that just broke.
Yeah,
That's gonna be probably about $17,000 to $18,000. So it may come out of there because it wasn't planned for.
yeah,
They're out of warranty and in the summer coming up, it gets hot.
yeah. Gotcha.
So, and as I'm saying that, the next one I'm about to give you is for the cable department, which, this is for, I believe, the lights, the setting. Yeah, LED studio lighting upgrade. So this is for $30,463. This is one of it's not unique, but it is to the extent that this money does not come from the taxpayers. It comes from our Comcast agreement, franchise agreement, where every year they will give the town $32,500 to go into this reserve to help.
Comcast
Yep,
gives you money.
yep.
Okay.
To help with maintaining public access TV, so the equipments and things of that nature. So that money we receive, assuming the voters vote yes. I don't know what
Now,
would happen.
why wouldn't they want?
I don't know what would happen if they vote no, but assuming they vote yes, it goes into there. There may not always be a plan because we're not gonna say no to Comcast providing us funding to be able to
Yeah.
upgrade the equipment at some point. But Drew typically does have a plan of what's gonna be replaced next and how much
Yeah.
it's gonna cost and all that, which this reserve will help fund.
Okay.
I think there's a
Who
couple.
wouldn't vote yes on getting mine? Okay.
There's a couple of no votes every year on it.
Okay. Maybe, did we have to do anything for them? In
It's
return
just
for
part
the
of-
money?
Nope, it's just part of the franchise agreement that, the town has in place with them.
What's in it for them?
So essentially what it is it's the town is providing public access TV on their behalf, rather than them having,
Like advertising?
well, not but, like the local government channel, the school channel, things of that, they don't have to provide that now, the
Oh.
town is.
Oh,
But they still get to have it on their channel list and everything like that. This is from the Expendable Maintenance Trust Fund. This is, it's snow removal. I wanna say it's gonna be the last one, but I don't trust New England weather.
okay.
The rest of it has been requested already in a previous authorization. So what we'll also do, if, for the snow expendable maintenance, we'll request at the start of the year, I think this year was 17,000, and then draw down on it. So this example here, 9,000 was authorized for release at the previous meeting. We didn't request it all at once because we didn't have all the expenses at once. We'll request them as they come in for this. This is the only one where the town asked for a block up front with the understanding that we're gonna draw down on it.
Oh, okay.
All the other ones, it's typically, we're asking for this amount, for this expense, and this purpose. But because we can't plan snow, we ask for a block amount, and that way
Right.
we can draw as needed.
What happens to the balance if there is one? Can you keep it from year to year?
So
Right.
what happens is the money, even when we get authorization, the money stays in the fund
Oh, okay.
until we get approval from you guys, and then we withdraw that portion. So if, let's say there's 5,000 left in the authorization the council gave, and we don't spend it, it never leaves, it never came to you guys to authorize it, it just stays in there. And, once June 30th hits, I tell them that that authorization is no longer valid.
So this group is more or less as an oversight that other people are looking at what's
Yep.
going on and not just doing their own thing. Okay.
Yep. This is the request for the master plan capital reserve for $17,496. It's for work that Southern New Hampshire Planning Commission has done so far on the master plan. Thank you.
Planning, so planning for the master plan.
Yep.
Two here for you.
Oh, thank you.
Don't last rushing, not at all.
Is this something I'm supposed to look at too?
This is
Okay.
another.
That's another,
Yes.
okay. So, all these statements, these are the supporting documents to
Yep.
this amount of money?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. You're just kind of making sure that it all adds up to the amount that they're requesting.
That and making sure that the invoices are in agreement with,
The rest.
yeah.
But these have all been approved by your town warrant articles, right?
So, the warrant articles authorize the money to go into the fund.
Okay.
What will happen is if the town approves, the money will go into the capital reserve fund. Those funds will then be reviewed.
Divvied out.
Yeah, and what will happen is when a expense that can come from the fund comes about,
Yep.
on the town side, the department head will talk to me about it, make sure I think it meets the intent of the capital reserve. If I do, and then we decide that that's the best way to spend the funds, we'll then go to the town council, request authorization to spend from there. Then once it's spent, we'll come to you requesting release of the funds.
How often does this group meet?
About
Not on a
quarter.
regular?
About quarterly, yeah.
Oh, not on a regular.
No, I would say quarterly, and every now and then it'll be 2 times a quarter. That's typically, honestly, probably just the winter, where we meet in, maybe it was October and then again in December, because we have the Mary Lou Chamberlain Trust that requests their release early January. And then, yeah, that's probably about it. Because we'll probably meet again in July, unless you guys wanna meet in June. And that's where we'll go over, we'll have Cambridge Trust come in to explain their investments, and if you guys wanna proceed investing in the way that we currently are. And then we'll meet again probably September, October, and then December-ish probably. But if you guys wanna meet more frequently, we can meet more frequently.
I'm good. I'm good with that.
Okay. And this one is, I messed up a little bit, I didn't print a cover sheet for us because I printed it for the cemetery trustees, and when I saw the top, I thought that it was the one for you guys. What this is this is the annual contribution for cemetery maintenance. It's $25,000. The trustees of the cemetery authorized it. I'm just looking for authorization from you guys as well. This is one that,
Would we maybe date and sign?
if you wanted to, that'd be great, yeah.
Okay. Is that okay to write on this one?
Yep.
Just a line? Can I maybe write TOT?
Yep,
Trustees
that
Trust
works.
On this group, okay.
This is one, I'll be honest, I'm not sure who has the actual authority to release. So I get both of you, because I'd rather have both groups looking at it than, it's one where since there's no fighting going on, I'd rather have both groups look at it to have more people saying, yeah, no, let's go ahead and do it. And this is the one that, the town budgets the revenue for it to help offset the tax impact, because the expenses for maintaining the cemetery are the responsibility of the town, but there's the in perpetuity funds that assist with those costs.
Is it the town or the cemetery trustees who selects, who actually performs the maintenance services that they're withdrawing from?
So,
Like trimmers, landscaping, corporate.
oh, who selects them?
Yeah.
We went out to bid, I believe it was 2 years ago now, and entered into a either 3 or 4 year contract. So it's the town that selects it based on the bid process.
Just curious.
Yeah, and it's one where what we'll do too is if they, based on the current inflation and CPI and everything else, if they're willing to hold the price for another year, we'll accept the price from 3 years ago for another year.
Sure.
But it's a bid process that we do, and then we go from there with it. But it's the Dave Wally, Ricky, and yeah, and typically I'll be there as well when they're opening them, and it's based on, because they'll bid on, it's not, hey, here's all our cemeteries. It's this group, this group, this group, all the different groups, kind of more by region, and they'll bid and go from there with them.
Cool. Thank you for the background.
Absolutely.
Is the plan done every year?
The master plan? No, I believe it's on a, I'm not gonna pretend like I know, I wanna say a 7-year schedule, but I think that's just cause 7 sounds right. But it's on a cycle of a certain amount of years. I believe we're actually behind on it. But there is a cycle of it, of renewing it, and there's an RSA regarding it. But the short answer is no, it's not every year.
Okay.
And the rest, I will be honest, I am not enough of an expert to know how often it needs to or how often it is.
This was already signed by 3.
So this is the cemetery one,
Yep.
and when I went to go print all these, I saw the top and assumed that I already printed for it, but I printed it for the cemetery trustees. They've already authorized it. This is just
He's
seeking-
the cemetery trustee.
Yep,
Oh,
I'm
okay,
just
gotcha.
seeking your guys' authorization as well.
Okay. You have to have both?
No, but I think it's a good idea to have both sets look at it and make sure that they're all in
Okay.
agreement.
Gotcha.
If there ever becomes a disagreement, then we'll take a look at who actually has the authority, but to me, more eyes on it just seemed like the best way to go. That way, we're all working together and achieving the same goal.
Quick question, is there one on the very bottom of that group? Oh, that's done, okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
So these things have already been done?
Yes,
Yeah.
this is reimbursement throughout the year. This is the one that the town budgets for the expenses of
Cemetery?
maintaining the cemetery.
Ju-
And then we budget the revenue for essentially this allocation.
Oh, okay. Just one cemetery?
No, there's
All of them?
Yep.
Okay. That's not that much money.
No, it's not.
Just mowing this thing.
It's more than it was previously. I believe we tried getting it closer to 50%, although I think it's still below 50%. And the main reason is the money is there for this purpose, to maintain the cemeteries. We're trying to get it closer to 50% because the taxpayers make up whatever it isn't. So let's say, just using round numbers, it's 100,000 expenses for the cemetery. I don't believe it's that, but let's say it is this 25, it's 25%. So the taxpayers are making up the 75. Yeah, so I believe historically, sorry, I'm just pulling it up now. You're looking at probably about 40 to 50,000 expenses. So this 25 covers actually a little bit above the 50% mark. And this is one where this is what we request. Let's say the market gets real bad and there is not enough income. We wouldn't be able to draw that 25,000. We could only draw whatever there was in interest and income from those accounts. So even though we would have budgeted for the 25, we couldn't pull from it. We can only pull interest and gainings. Okay, those are the ones that I have. Do we want to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting?
Did you have a chance to look at these? I kept them relatively short from last
Yeah.
time. I kind of jotted down on your copy,
Yeah,
which was fine.
that's for sure.
Everything relatively straightforward before we make a motion.
That's fine.
It was pretty easy. Everything was pretty unanimous with only the two of us here before you joined us, so.
Was this after Jim died?
It was, yes.
I know he, they were talking to him about end-of-life care. He didn't get it, but I did. And he goes, "Oh, I gotta stay alive till the 11th because I have to win an election." I'm like, "Dad, you're running out of polls." And he goes, "Oh, yeah." Okay, I want to win because he keeps running for rep and kept losing for rep, but he lost by less, so he was happy because he got better losing.
That's a great outlook. I have to, wow.
He had a lot of great outlooks.
That's why I worked so long with the heart that was falling apart. That and me taking care of him.
We were hoping you were going to bring the humor because he always did. He always had a parting joke for us
Yeah.
or something.
He loved it. I know. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I don't know. It's not that much." I'm like, "Oh, okay." We never talk about what he does. I'm trying to find out.
After you.
No, 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 no.
I was just gonna say, do you want to remake that? Or
Oh, sure. Are you okay with,
Yeah, I'm very, yeah.
Perfect. So,
That was extensive.
make a motion to accept the extensive meeting minutes?
I'll second. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. All right, unanimous approval on this. I'll note that.
Are you the secretary?
That's a formal title that I don't have. I just take the minutes and send them off. Justin is kind enough to distribute them for us, so.
You know, you like this group.
Outside of that, the only other thing would be our next meeting.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys want to meet in June or not. If you don't, what I would recommend is we hold off on setting the date, and I'll reach out to Cambridge to see when they're available and
Okay.
get a couple dates and then send it out to you guys to see which one works best.
Sounds good. So that they come and talk with us about.
Yep, they'll come and give us an update on our investments and where they're all sitting and what they think is going to be happening for the future, as best as they can.
Yeah.
Because the
No.
future, you never know.
Not this future.
So again, what was the
So
no
if you-
activity in June?
That's up to you guys if you want to meet in June.
I would.
I don't see many reserve requests. If any big ones come up, I can always reach out and ask for a meeting sooner. But unless you guys want to meet for another reason, I don't have anything that I can think of that will be necessary.
Might as well wait for the Cambridge to come and
Yep.
speak to you.
And was there a target for the Cambridge?
I was gonna ask them when in July.
When in July? Perfect. Okay, good. That sounds good to me. Jonathan, any take on the June?
I have no,
Yeah.
no, that works. We're
Okay.
gonna wait, we're gonna defer until we hear from Cambridge Trust.
Yep.
So-
And Thursday still work best for everybody?
Please?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll try and see if they have a Thursday available, in July, around 9 o'clock to see
Mhm.
where they're at. And if not, then, I'll reach out and see what day works better, because I think the 9 AM slot works better, right?
Yes, please.
So I'll see when they have available at 9 and see if we can find a date from there.
Very good. Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Sorry.
What
Oh,
other
wait,
business?
this
Anything?
is yours.
Well,
I said, what other business do we have? Anything?
that's all I have.
I'm just gonna show you two,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I think you'll be speaking maybe with Kirsten.
Yep.
Okay, but this here, this little app,
I'm sorry, can I look at it?
yeah, just says Outlook.
Oh, yeah,
So that's the one I loaded, and then
Okay.
when you get say the mailing address, or excuse me, the email address,
yep,
and the Kirsten upstairs would probably help you with getting that, logging you in for the first time.
okay,
And like I said, so that's the app I use, the
okay.
Outlook app, and
There's an Outlook Life, is that different?
yeah, I had found that first, and then I found the actual Outlook,
Okay.
and it works perfect. One button, and you're into the.
Simple is better.
Yes.
No, I have enough trouble, I know,
Thank you.
Jim used to do a lot of the computer stuff and like, yeah, there was a stack of stuff I had to do cause he was a civil servant and a military and trying to fill out all those forms. Yeah, it's been lots of fun. So I don't care if I sit at this table with this computer all morning, I'm gonna finish this.
Yep.
And it happened a couple times. I know. Still waiting for his pension. So,
From the
Uh,
civil service or from VA?
civil service and VA, because he was in the military 20 years, so he gets a small pension. All the abbreviations for all those forms, you know, that you're trying. So I didn't want to send them all electronically, but I would type them out on the computer and then print them out and then attach all the forms and send it, because I wanted a copy of everything. Because, yeah.
You need it with, I worked for VA for some
Yeah.
time and I had the pleasure of serving and
Yeah.
they don't do anything quickly and
No.
they always lose your paperwork.
Yeah.
We always joked in the Army, you better have 3 copies of something, so.
I sent it all certified. I get this big stack of certified stuff. So,
Well, we are grateful for his service, certainly.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yours too.
Which branch was Jim in?
He was in the Army. Yeah.
Army, Marine Corps.
Oh, yeah. I'm just a wife.
Never just a spouse.
No.
Yeah.
Never, never. We know that, right?
Yes.
Want a motion to close? Somebody? I'll make a
Oh,
motion to
make
close
it.
the meeting.
Okay. Second it. In favor?
Everybody in
Oh,
favor?
aye.
All right.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Close out at 9:45.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Oh, that's my pen, I forgot. Thank you.
Justin does a wonderful job of keeping us rolling, and you
I
can see the amount of
guess.
paperwork that goes into
Yeah.
keeping us together, so we are grateful for his service.
I apologize, it was a little off today, but
Oh,
we got it.
all good.
We had everything we needed, that's all.
Yeah.
All
Perfect.
good.
And as always, if you guys need anything, you know how to find me.
Thank you.
I'll be glad to help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, just, I was
Yes.
gonna say, it's 9:45 now. Would Linda make an appointment with Kirsten to?
I'll just go upstairs and see
Yeah.
if
Oh,
she's
okay, you
around.
still get time? Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
we're friends. She used to, I'm involved with the Historical
Oh, wonderful.
Society. Yeah, she used to be,
Yeah, her car's here.
Wonderful.
So
Oh,
she should be
part
here
of that
somewhere.
brown thing.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go up and try to lasso her, although she's kind of hard to get in touch with. Can you give me your stuff, just in case we need to get in touch?
Absolutely.
I wanna find my card too. Alrighty.
I guess we're all set.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good meeting, thank you everyone.
Thank you very much.